did you in your head size up Floyd? Like, you know what I'm saying? If we was ever, keep it real, boy, keep it real.
I'm never that type of guy.
Hold me back.
Floyd Mayweather has given warnings to Canelo Alvarez after sparring with Terence Crawford and training with him in the gym.
Always been happy for him, been a fan of his, and I never imagined us fight.
Yeah.
I never looked at him like, man.
Well, here we go.
Actually, Terence Crawford and his crew asked Floyd Mayweather to their training camp in an effort to better prepare for the September 12th challenge. The boxing icon was asked not only to spar with Terence Crawford and watch him in other sparring and training sessions, but also to put Crawford through tests and give him advice that will help him win in September. According to the film published on social media, the pair was first seen standing and discussing by ringside, with Crawford and his trainers paying close attention to Mayweather's comments. The pair were then spotted in the boxing ring, with Floyd Mayweather helping Crawford with intricacies in his defense stances, posture, footwork, and movements before entering the ring to spar. Crawford threw his hands repeatedly during their sparring session, trying to penetrate Mayweather's guard, which he did admirably. He then stopped moving his hands as he fought on the back foot, trying to defend from Floyd's punches. Floyd Mayweather was asked after their session about Crawford's training practice. Crawford is one hell of a boxer. He's one of the best of his age, and he reminds me of myself and a few of my opponents. I respect that he's hungry and wants to leave a lasting boxing legacy.
If I take Floyd Mayweather in his absolute prime, and I take Manny Pacquiao in his absolute prime,
Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd still beats him.
Floyd beat everybody.
You don't believe there's a guy at 140, 147 in the history of boxing that could have beat Floyd in his prime?
It'd be tough. Floyd, man, that boy, man, that's the GOAT, man. That boy bad.
What makes it, I mean, what, because, and I told people this, I said, look at Floyd. I said, Floyd, it's not that he trains, I mean, it's his life. And from the very beginning, he's like, I want to be the.
He was also asked if he thought Crawford had what it took to overcome Canelo Alvarez, to which he replied yes. I have always told you about Canelo. He's an excellent fighter, yet he has flaws. Canelo has flaws, whether he's 23 or 35, and Crawford's strategy is intended to exploit them. You saw him in his last fight, and he looked ordinary. Predicting his winner, he stated, Crawford, for sure, Crawford's winning this. He has the tools and the secrets already.
When I fought Canelo, I was 36, and Canelo was 23, around the same age. Some of these guys won world titles and was undisputed champion. I think, the Tank age, the young low champions. Canelo was 23 with 43 fights and 30 knockouts.
The footage of Crawford and Mayweather generated a lot of buzz online, with fans commenting on how fantastic it was to watch two boxing greats practice together, especially since Crawford had a similar encounter with Andre Ward just before his retirement. Crawford and Floyd's training seemed to be going well. I'm glad Crawford is taking the right moves, and I hope he wins on fight night. Canelo is definitely not ready for what Crawford is about to bring, according to a fan. A second stated, that ring is suffering from too much greatness. I personally think Crawford would win if there was ever a reason to make this real. Another wrote, Crawford needs to listen to Floyd to beat Canelo. He also needs to hear from Val. There's something those guys know that others don't. I believe it is their skill and style. That Crawford simply needs to make this work, really.
And the world said he was inexperienced. I was 36 with 40-something fights. And to tell you the truth, I was over the hill. And so when I fight guys, when I'm in my 30s and they're in their 30s, you know what they say? Oh, this guy all washed up.
Another person wrote, I like how the necessary fighters are giving Terence Crawford the support he needs. I just feel he'd get this done. By Chose, special thanks to Floyd Mayweather, who fought Canelo in a World Boxing Council and World Boxing Association light middleweight title showdown in September 2013. It was the 45th fight of the American's illustrious career, and he was up against the young Mexican, who was facing his most difficult challenge yet. It was viewed as a difficult test for Mayweather going in, but it turned out to be a one-sided affair, with the American winning on points, even though the scorecards had it much closer than most boxing fans thought.
Floyd, what'd you think of Canelo's performance against Billy Joe Saunders?
I didn't even see it. What do you fight on the app? You said he fight on the app now, right?
Yeah.
Well, the real fighters fight on Showtime.
The more his legacy grows, the more
Money dominated, to fight from start to finish, using his skills and ability to outperform Canelo over 12 rounds and win by majority decision. Despite being the clear winner at the end of the fight, Judge C.J. Ross scored it 114 to 114, surprising those in attendance, including Mayweather. Speaking to the fight build-up, the 47-year-old did not hold back when it came to Canelo's boxing skills. First summarizing the fight in 3 words, he was nothing. Mayweather then went on to share his thoughts on the Mexican's ability. You can take someone like Canelo. I will say the truth about Canelo, the stupid was easy. A cakewalk. Easy. You are all praising this guy. He was nothing. I was approaching 40, and I had no problem cooking this dude.
It's really that they don't want, it's not that they don't want to see Tank win because they feel like it's beating me because I dominated the fight game for so long. But these same writers out here, they praise Canelo. He can pick and choose who he want to fight.
would you agree with that?
Hold on, Canelo?
Right.
Oh, that's the easy one.
We're gonna try and get
People, a lot of times guys be like, well, I'm bigger, I got a longer reach. I'm a better fighter.
Mayweather quit a few years later, but Canelo remains one of boxing's most recognizable figures, having won world titles at middleweight, super middleweight, and light heavyweight, as well as becoming undisputed in the 168-pound weight class. After losing to Mayweather for the first time, Canelo went on to win 15 straight fights, including world titles at middleweight, super middleweight, and light heavyweight. He now appears to be prepared to participate in another major boxing match, with a fight against fellow pound-for-pound great Crawford reportedly agreed upon for later this year. Some experts think the weight differential may be too much for Crawford, who will be moving up from 154 pounds to 168 pounds for the bout after just competing once in the super welterweight division.
It's really that they don't want, it's not that they don't want to see Tank win because they feel like it's beating me because I dominated the fight game for so long. But these same writers out here, they praise Canelo. He can pick and choose who he want to fight. And I'm gonna tell y'all the truth.
Many think that Canelo's natural size will result in a decisive knockout victory over Crawford, similar to when he met a much smaller opponent in Amir Khan, who had also gone up to divisions for the fight. With that in mind, Mayweather voiced his opinion on Canelo's strength after being asked if it worried him going into the fight. Not at all. His next comment was in the ring. It was nothing he hadn't felt before. It's nothing I have never felt before after being in the sport for over 20 years.
Which fight was more difficult between Mayweather or Bivol, and why?
I think both are similar. Just Bivol is bigger, so I think Bivol.
Mayweather's words may boost Crawford's confidence, especially given Canelo's failure to stop his previous 5 opponents. The 34-year-old from Guadalajara, Mexico, now owns the Unified World Boxing Council, World Boxing Association, and World Boxing Organization 168-pound titles, as he prepares to defend his title against fellow pound-for-pound champion Terence Crawford later this year in what may be one of the biggest contests in boxing's lengthy history. Canelo's sole other career loss came in 2022, when he was severely defeated by former WBA light heavyweight champion Dimitri Bivol.
Canelo did what he had to do to get the victory.
What do you want next? It seems like that's going to be the fight. Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez, the biggest fight in boxing.
Well, Canelo's the face of boxing. He's the best fighter for Terence Crawford out there. He the biggest fight for Terence Crawford out there, so that's why Terence Crawford want to take the opportunity to share a ring with another great.
How do you beat him?
You'll see.
It has been nearly 12 years since Canelo Alvarez's first career loss to the legendary Floyd Mayweather. Junior Canelo was only 23 years old when he was given the chance to face boxing's P for P megastar. Quite simply, the money and the chance were too excellent to pass up. Almost predictably, given his lack of experience at the top level, Alvarez fell short in that blockbuster match at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas back in September 2013.
Everyone's talking about the weight differences. What's your kind of response to that, Terence?
That's why we fight the fight. So September 12th, we all gonna see if the weight gonna make a difference or not.
Do you want to fight him twice and then retire? Is that kind of the ideal thing for you?
One fight at a time, one fight at a time.
What did you make of, I know you didn't say much on tonight, the effectiveness of William School? He came to, to decision as opposed to win the fight. Would you agree with that?
While one judge scored the fight as a draw, the other to gave Mayweather a comfortable win. Since then, Canelo has certainly thought on that night and what could have been. It's evident that he and many other astute observers felt the chance came too soon for the Mexican legend. At 34 years old, Alvarez is now boxing's PPV cash cow, set for more major challenges after signing a blockbuster 4-fight agreement with Turki Al-Sheikh and Riyadh season. The first fight under that deal is a super middleweight title, unification versus Cuban William Scully in Riyadh on May 3rd.
Canelo's a hell of a fighter. There's a lot of great Mexican fighters. That's not for me to rate fighters. I just take my hat off to so many fighters that paved the way, for me to be where I'm at, just, throughout life. Canelo's a hell of a fighter.
However, many view this as merely a warm-up for the big event. And total blockbuster against welterweight and super welterweight King Terence, but Crawford Canelo versus Crawford would see, but go up to weight classes for the biggest bout of his career. And it is clearly the biggest fight boxing could make right now. It's planned for September, if Alvarez takes care of business on May 3rd. In an interview with Mike Core of Ring Magazine, the Guadalajara native confessed that he thinks the night against Mayweather would have been quite different right now. He thinks he's a different Canelo, and a fight with Crawford, who has a style comparable to Floyd Jr., could help him prove it.
I trained so hard, and now obviously I try to beat him because if you beat him, you wanna be the best in the world at 23.
What do you think was so impressive about him?
His experience. He's so smart. He have everything in a fighter, a complete fighter. He don't have power in the punches, but when you that kind of fighter, you don't need it.
You think that was the toughest fight you faced?
No.
What do you think?
I think it's tough fights and difficult fights.
When Cooper threw that theory out there, Alvarez responded, "To show people I'm different now that I'm an experienced fighter. Today I always think that I just needed more years before the fight with Mayweather, but things happen, and I learned a lot, and I don't blame myself because I learned a lot. But yes, it's the opportunity to show what kind of a fighter I am right now. When you look at, like, Floyd, and some fighters look down on Floyd doing these exhibitions, saying what are your thoughts about that? Is that something you would do? Look, he is leaving. He can do whatever he wants, correct? And I think I'll miss boxing a lot when I stop. And maybe I can do 1 or 2. However, as the highly anticipated fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez continues to elicit excitement and controversy in the boxing community, more boxing pros are adding. Crawford, known for his versatility and technical prowess, wants to step up to weight classes to face the undisputed super middleweight champion. A remarkable jump that has split minds among boxing experts.
He was boxing well, and then he just stopped doing what he was doing earlier. I don't know. I can't call it.
Do you think Canelo slipped as a fighter?
No, I don't. I just think that, William was doing a good job neutralizing Canelo power punches. He was just moving a lot.
Do you think that's a style you have to employ in points of the fight?
I don't know, because if you watch the styles that beat him, they didn't move a lot. They moved a little bit.
I'm not even a fan of that fight. They're too many weight classes apart. And although the skills, Crawford is one of the best fighters that I've seen. Now, Canelo is, fighting at 168. Crawford just moved up to 154, and he had some trouble with that in that fight. Now Where do you plan on going? 164, 65, 66?
Former heavyweight world champion Deontay Wilder is one of the big voices chiming in. In a recent interview with S News, Wilder voiced his concern over Crawford's huge weight gain from 147 to 168. That's way too much, Wilder said. Although you can flip from southpaw to orthodox when you're touching the heavier people, it's a different feeling. It's as if you were a baby. I am not saying you can't knock someone out or punish them, but I think it takes longer. The way blows are absorbed changes dramatically as weight rises. Crawford has come a step closer to narrowing the weight gap since Wilder's words, winning the World Boxing Association super welterweight belt. Despite this success, he and Canelo Alvarez still have a 14-pound weight discrepancy, which might play a critical part in the fight's outcome. Canelo, known for his unwavering hitting power and stamina, has established himself as a dominant force in the super middleweight category. Despite two career defeats, both by decision, he has regularly displayed exceptional defense and resilience, cementing his place as one of boxing's most formidable adversaries. This clash promises to be a spectacular spectacle, but it also offers a significant test for Crawford.
Determined, got that killer instinct, and in this sport, that's what you need. You gotta have a killer instinct. If you don't, you're gonna get knocked out.
Canelo ain't gonna come down to 160.
Yeah,
Canelo ain't gonna come down, you know, maybe 166 max if he accepts.
Yeah.
I think Canelo wins that fight based on just the size, power and size. Now, skill-wise, I think Crawford's a better skill fighter, but the difference in size will be the deciding factor, and that's why I'm not even a fan of that fight. I think Crawford has
to succeed. The Omaha native needs show exceptional flexibility and resilience against a fighter of Canelo's skill in a higher weight class, while Wilder's reservations regarding the weight disadvantage are justified. The attraction of this fight cannot be denied. This collision of styles and raw power puts two of boxing's finest talents against each other, and fans are looking forward to what may be one of the sport's most exciting spectacles. It's astonishing that Canelo Alvarez already has a fixed opponent for 2025. Not for the May date, but for his second fight of the year, planned for September on the weekend of Mexico's Independence celebration in Las Vegas. He has named Terence Crawford as one of the top 5 fights he hopes to watch this year. Is that a fight you're considering right now? We will see. We will see. Everything is possible. Well, we'll see. We want to talk it. Sit down properly and think about something. I understand you felt he was a lose-lose situation for you. Teddy Atlas, a legendary boxing trainer turned commentator, has spoken with Fight Hub TV about the possible mega fight between the two stars, noting that he would find it difficult to face the American southpaw. Few people had the appetite or desire to challenge themselves. Mr. Crawford does. I'll never go up against that guy. Father Time might catch him, but I'm not sure if a weight class would.
These kind of fights on that stage, at that level, to be ready, really ready for Canelo. He was still a few fights short. He still needed more season. Even though he had a lot of fights, he still needed more season. I see Berlanga in the same way.
It's a great challenge because Canelo is a terrific fighter, bigger and stronger, and he can punch and timing you, but because you're smaller, Crawford will devise a strategy that will force the other guy to use his size. Speaking on Fight Hub TV, McIntyre praised the undefeated Crawford, who is likely to face Canelo in May or September. Crawford holds all of the necessary tools to win a third-way, undisputed championship. Complete everything he needed to do, from 140 to 147 and now 154. That's even better for him. He plans to do anything to collect 154. He can try it, but there's no money in it compared to the Canelo fight, and Canelo is wanting to fight other guys, and at that time, it's more of a major battle for the money. But, as a fight fan, I'm not a fan of the scheduler. Any serious boxing fan knows Crawford can beat Canelo. To say that, you must know fighting. According to boxing source Ray Jackson, Canelo Alvarez will receive $150 million for the fight against Bud, an amount that the Guadalajara native had previously mentioned at the end of 2020 for if they wanted him to consider accepting the match. Canelo Alvarez will get $150 million guaranteed for a fight with Crawford. Jackson wrote on X, "If the payment is made, Saul Alvarez will return to the top of the highest-paid boxers and athletes in 2025, after dropping off the list the previous year."
Do you think he's too small to compete with you?
No, he's a good fighter. He's a very good fighter. He's a smart fighter, and I take everything seriously. But we'll see what happens.
Canelo, I hope you make it happen for us, because we want to see it.
The September bout between Saul Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford has the potential to be one of the most fascinating fights of the past decade. The year 2025 began with a slew of exciting developments for all boxing fans, thanks to the large number of matches that could take place over these 12 months, which had been expected for several years. One of those fights is Canelo versus Crawford, one of the biggest and most awaited boxing matches in recent history, which takes place on September 12th at Allegiant Stadium. The bout between Terence Bud Crawford and Saul Canelo Alvarez is begun, and Floyd Mayweather has commented. What are your thoughts on Floyd Mayweather calling the fight in favor of Terence Crawford? Please share your ideas on all of these in the comments area. And that's all for now. Stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel for the most up-to-date news, events, and actions in the boxing industry. And don't forget to switch on notifications to be informed when we post excellent material like this. Until next time, peace.